Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? This is your Sundays at 6. And we are actually at 6 o'clock right now. This is 6 o'clock Eastern Standong time. Yeah, so I hope everybody's had a good Sunday. It's been a nice, relaxing one for us. Nothing but last minute grocery shopping for school food and stuff like that. But still, a nice Sunday nonetheless. It was we were talking about just before it honestly feels like an actual summer day today, so that was definitely nice, but you know, keeping us away from the cold somewhat. Anyways, I was on Facebook earlier, um, as always, and someone there was something that somebody posted, the bands doing those cameo things, and one of the bands that was doing it was Everclear. And it's funny to think that, like, when I was a kid, that would have been that would have been probably the coolest thing that could ever happen to me in my life, is, one of those bands that you grow up listening to, you grow up really kind of idolizing and stuff, and then they're wishing you a happy birthday or a get well soon or something like that. So, but that ended up, it made me start thinking of how many great songs Everclear has, and I definitely have not done enough of them. So, this is one of my favorites. Here is the money that I owe you, yeah, so you could pay the bills. I will give you more when I get paid again. I hate those people who love to tell you money is the root of all the kills. They have never been poor, they have never felt the joy of a well-fed Christmas. Yeah, I know we will never look back. Yeah. You say you wake up crying, yeah, and you don't know why. You go up and you get getting down inside my baby's room. Yes, and I'm doing okay. I'm moving with the strangest guy. Can you believe that he actually thinks that I am really alive? And I will buy you a garden where your flowers can bloom. And I will buy you a car, perfect, shiny, and new. And I will buy you that big house way up in the West Hills. I will buy you a new life. Yeah, I will. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I will. Yeah, I know all about the guy, the handsome man with athletic thighs. I know all about the time before, with that obsessive little rich boy. They might make you think you're happy, yeah, maybe for a minute or two. They won't make you laugh, no, they can't make you feel the way that I do. I will buy you a garden where your flowers can bloom. I will buy you a new car, perfect, shiny, and new. I will buy you that big house way up in the West Hills. I will buy you a new life. Yes, I will. Oh, will you please let me stay the night? Oh, now I know we can never look back. Yeah, will you please let me stay the night? No one will ever know, ever know. Said I will buy you where your flowers can bloom. And I will buy you a new car, perfect, shiny, and new. I will buy you a big house way up in the West Hills. I will buy you a new life. Yeah, I will. Yeah. 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 Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Yes, that's a great tune. There's so many more from them that are awesome. I'm sure I'll be throwing more of those in here. But anywho, just wanted to come in here and say a little hey, see who's in the chat. Austin, Kim, hey, hey, hey. Evan's in here. Elizabeth's in here. Brendan and Mike, of course. We got Nicole. Hey, 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 Nicole. Marco. It's funny, like oh, there we go. Bam. Now I can actually kind of see. They get lighter as they go down. Kate's on here. Cindy's on here. Yeah, it's great to see everybody. Hope everybody once again is having an awesome night. Lauren's on here. Chuck, what's happening? Chuck. Chucky Child's Play. Well, shibby. Yeah. I hope everybody's having a fun. What day is today? Sunday. Yes. This is another tune that I had kind of forgotten about. I used to love listening to this song. And not many people ever really play this with a band, just because it's definitely more of a, I guess, kind of somber, but yeah, great tune. A little bit of U2, Never Killed Nobody. Say you want diamonds on a ring of gold. You say you want your story to remain untold, but all the promises we make, from the cradle to the grave, when all I want is you. You say you'll give me a highway with no one on it, this treasure just to look upon it, all the riches in the night. You say you'll give me eyes in a moon of blindness, a river in a time of dryness, arbor in the tempest, but all the promises we make, from the cradle to the grave, when all I want is you. When all I want is you. You say you want I love to work out right to last with me through the night. You say you want diamonds on a ring of gold, treasures to unfold. You say your love grows, yeah. All the promises you made from the cradle to the grave, yeah, all I want is you. 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 When all I want is you. Boom, boom, bitty. So I'm gonna keep things kind of rolling that way, actually. This next tune is another one that just recently I saw. I don't know if anyone's, well, I'm sure a lot of people have. If you've watched the documentary The Last Waltz, it's so good, and like I remember seeing it years ago, and knowing that it was awesome, but gosh, like it was years before I watched it again. I don't know if it's just more years in music or kind of seeing what touring is like. I don't know if it gave me more of an appreciation for how awesome that concert DVD was. But there were so many different artists that they played with, and at different parts, people came out and sang with each other. This is one of the songs that a bunch of people sang with the artist, and for years has been one of my favorite. Little Neil Young, the song's called "Helpless." There's a town in North Ontario, a dream, comfort, memory there. In my mind, I still need a place to go, and all my changes been there. Blue windows behind the stars, yellow moon on the rise, big birds flying across the skies, throwing shadows on our eyes that leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. Blue, blue windows behind the stars. Yellow moon on the rise. Big birds flying across the sky, throwing shadows along our eyes that leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. I say, babe, can you hear me now? Oh, oh, say, helpless, helpless, helpless. Babe, sing with me somehow. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? Helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, be with me somehow. I said, helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, can you hear me now? No, no, no. I said, I'm helpless, helpless, helpless. Babe, can you be with me somehow? Thank you. Thanks, somebody. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Not somebody. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. Um, gotta love live live streams because I feel like I say the wrong thing 9% of the time. And when I say 9% of the time, I didn't mean 90 that time. I actually meant 9% of the time. But 9% of the time, if you say the wrong thing, is actually it's quite a big number. That's that's like that's almost 10%. Did you guys know that? Like that's 9% is almost 10%. It's crazy. Anyways, this this next tune that I'm gonna play is another one that they had on that the last waltz. Um, Now this one I play a lot. I love this song. Um, but on the last waltz, you see Bob Dylan do it. Um, I always kind of knew it as the band. Like I knew their version of it a lot better. Um, and those that don't know, the band played for Bob Dylan. They were his backing band for quite a while. Um, that being said, it was funny because in the last waltz, Bob Dylan was definitely at that point of like I don't I don't even want to say it, but he just seems kind of a little bit stoned, which I think was maybe a normal thing, but a little more stoned than than everybody else on stage. So it's a really funny performance to watch. But he is the writer of the song, and and I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan. Um, one of I think like the most creative songwriters, but that like he was so in between having these big really recognizable pop songs technically, but like so not pop Like he you know, you've got songs that have like 9 verses, and like the Hurricane, Story of a Hurricane song. I can't remember what it's actually called. I think it's just called Hurricane. Um, but yeah, like that song's so long. Um, but it's a phenomenal song. You remember the big, well, I don't know. I just always sing the same thing over and over again. So if Bob is watching this, please don't be angry with me. It's really um it's really weird to play songs for artists that you're not positive if like they're alive or not, or something has happened. Um, this isn't one of them, but I was playing something the other day, and I'm like, wait, they're still alive, right? But yeah, that was a weird little side thought. But anyways, the song's called "I Shall Be Released." Say everything can't be replaced. Say every distance is not near. Yet I remember every face of every man who brought me here. So see my light come shining from the west down to the east. And any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Say that every man needs protection. Say that every man must follow. Yet I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above this wall. See my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Now yonder stands a man in a lonely crowd. A man who swears he's not to blame. All day long I hear him shout so loud, just crying out that he was framed. Now see my light go shining from the west down to the east. Oh, any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Any day I shall be released. Thank you. Once again, thanks everybody for being here tonight. This is your Sundays at 6. And I do believe that it is time for the boys to join. I think I see him here. I hear a knocking, a rat-a-tat-tat, knocking at my chamber door. Mike, B, enter yourselves.
Yo.
Whoa!
Oh.
Wow!
There we go.
Man, it's almost like Anchorman. It's like, news team, assemble! Yes, I watched Anchorman the other day.
Except we'll be in trouble if someone else somehow comes on and assembles their team, like the big battle they have. And then all of a
Okay,
sudden
yeah,
you got
that
all
would
these
be-
weirdo news teams come in. Oh,
We're at a major disadvantage, too, because we're a three-piece.
Yeah,
Yeah,
three-piece we definitely don't have the same amount of...
Like, we could go up against, like, Green Day and, like, what else is three-piece?
that would actually be a really
really struggling
funny
for three
topic of
pieces right now.
conversation. Like, what bands do we think we could hold our own with?
I was going to say Rush, but that's too soon.
Green Day.
Poor Neil Peart.
I'm just going to adjust this so that my...
It's the first time I've jammed with someone in like over a week, Dane. That was good. Even though you were unaware, but you know, I had fun.
And I wish I was in on that one. Hold on, I'm just getting my audio set. I think that's the ones.
Pretty happening in the chat tonight.
Yes. Oh, wait. Did that switch both of them? Do I have the low voice now?
Nope, you're good. Voice is
Okay.
still good.
There we go. Now you guys won't hear all the feedbackings.
Oh, that's me too. I had an open quarter-inch going there, so for a second. Yeah.
Oh, you got old open quarter inch.
Yeah.
The old
careful.
open quarter inch
Careful.
syndrome.
If you put it on your tuner, it's like between A and B flat.
It's not a tuna.
It's not a tuna. It's a chromatic tuna.
It's a chromatic tuna. It's a Peterson. So how are you guys today? I didn't check through the chat yet. Was there any? I had asked if anyone had any crazy stories or questions. Was there
Didn't
any-
see any questions or crazy stuff. It was just good chatting going on.
Good chat
Yeah.
is good.
The old YouTube kitchen party was going pretty good today, too.
YouTube kitchen party.
Yeah, shout out to Don and Kate hanging out. Because people that get, not to say these individuals were removed from Facebook, because sometimes people are temporarily removed from Facebook, and we all hang out on YouTube. 'Cause you got to go somewhere. But Kate's not, removed from YouTube for
You know, maybe
the
it's people
foreseeable
that,
future.
maybe it's people that just like YouTube better. Maybe they're just like, you know what? I like this platform. I'm gonna stick with this.
YouTube is good. And from
I'm pretty sure that's what Jen watches it on is YouTube.
YouTube, it does help.
I think she said it runs better.
From a streaming perspective, you can get a higher resolution, and it just is better. Because even with the gaming stuff that I do, because I blasted at several platforms, and like YouTube to me looks and sounds the best.
Yeah.
So, anyways, boring technical stuff.
Bibbity bobbities.
I like this. Teresa says, I have crazy stories, but I also signed an NDA.
Don't go breaking that NDA.
Nope.
Don't
It's
do
definitely
it.
on the record right now.
That's awesome though. That's
Maybe on YouTube. Maybe we'll just switch over to YouTube after.
but an NDA. I have to be
I'll
honest.
delete it after.
Like I wonder if a band was crazy enough that like they had people on the road doing different behind the scenes stuff, and they made them sign NDAs for specific incidents. So it's like if something bad happens or a little too over the edge, they have them sign an NDA, but just for that specific incident. I wonder if you can do that. Because then we could have Tense Machine NDAs that are just like kind of like a template on the computer. So all we got to do is just kind of write in like the little thing and just make people sign it. Because you know what you could do, if you were so inclined, and if you were a litigious type person, you could go around and like contrive these type situations where like you do something really, really crazy and then you get people to sign NDAs, but when they tell people and break the NDA, then you sue them and you make money. I guess now that I've said this on here, like it'll never
Modern problems, modern solutions to the music industry. You can't make money from records. You got to find a different way.
Well, I feel like maybe that's one thing that could bring me into the I guess the COVID century is I could start doing consulting work for bad ideas. So like if you need a way to make money,
Sounds like a rap group, Dane. There's your new NDA.
So what we do is we just rap about things we can't actually talk about openly, and we just tuck it into the lyrics.
Oh, that's good.
What's your inspiration as NDA? Legal jargon. Very inspired by legalese.
Well, and technically, our producer is a doctor. He's a dentist. Mike has his dental degree. Nobody knows that.
Hey, that NDA.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
I
Forget it?
forgot I signed that one.
Jeez.
See, now I'm making you money already. But that would be the one thing is I'd have to get a percentage, almost like a lawyer. I'd have to get a percentage of whatever they make. Yeah.
That's how it works usually.
Yeah.
You gotta get
Well,
cut
yeah.
in somehow.
Obviously, I'm not going to teach people how to break the law for free.
All right.
That's gonna cost you.
All right. Cindy's got a question here. She's saying we're missing her question. I did forget about that.
Which one?
Says, if you were not born in the decade you were in, which decade you wish you were born in? Well,
That's tough.
us all being pretty young, being born late 90s, it's tough to say where else you want to be born.
I'd maybe go a decade back, but like everybody would want to go back to like the 60s and the 70s to live and see all the musicians, but no, man. Like,
But that's the thing.
all
If
the
you,
finer things that we have right now. I don't want to go back to a decade without the internet. I'll say that right now.
well, say like if you wanted to be around in the 60s, it's like you'd probably want to be born in the late 50s so that you're hitting your teen years in the 60s.
Yeah, and can you imagine? Well, now, although the 50s would have probably been a good decade to be like a kid, because parents did not do half of the things to protect their kids that they do now. So you kind of had a free reign.
Well, all social issues and progress aside, yeah, like there definitely was a different era depending on.
Okay, yes. I
Yeah,
wasn't
there's that,
really
and that's when
thinking
it's
of
funny.
that.
Not
That is a-
not to be super wet blanket, but that's the first thing that came to mind. I'm just like, no, it's being me. Like, now it's pretty good. Like, it just kind of keeps getting better and better.
I definitely did not think of it from that perspective, but that actually is a really good point because
But-
it's only in
So go ahead.
well, it's like things or being somebody that was definitely like things that they didn't even know about back then, like personalities and orientations that they didn't know about back then. The amount of people that kind of had to hide themselves and whatnot. So yeah, that is a really good point.
But that
Being me, myself, this guy, it would have been a very different thing to skip back to the 50s than it would have been, somebody that didn't really know their orientation the same way, or somebody that wasn't just a white male. You know what I mean? Like when were women allowed to vote?
we're going deep here.
We're going deep. They started to get into that, in the early 1900s, like 1920s, especially the suffragettes.
Yeah.
Remember that in Canada? They started to be like, "We're voting, men."
Okay.
That's what's happening.
Well, and then
Speaking of, vote tomorrow. If you're in
vote
Canada.
tomorrow.
see, I was tying this in.
So
Nice segue.
I looked at Cindy's question. She said, "Which decade do you wish you were born in?" She didn't say you had to go back. So you know what I would do? My answer for this:
The future?
I would go to the future.
Oh,
I'd go 100
tricky.
years into the future.
Tricky.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You're
because
the guy that when people
you're
talk about wishes, you're like, I want to know, I want to be able to fly.
like, no offense to everyone that I know now, but I would go to 100 years
But I wish didn't
into
know
the
any
future.
of you
It's
and
a-
start
it's-
fresh in the future.
It's a gamble. It's a
is-
gamble.
it's
Not gonna lie,
definitely a
because it could be
gamble.
just radioactive wasteland.
Or
Could like
apes
be
running.
You
Yeah,
blew it all
Planet of
up.
the Apes.
There's a percentage of Planet of the Apes happening. That's true. I've considered this. Or I saw something about the movie Time Machine when he goes into the future and
Okay,
humans what do they call them? It's some name. The Morlocks come out from under the
yeah.
ground and steal humans because they're like, yeah. There's a chance of that happening. I get it, but there's also a chance of it being like, imagine the internet then and like
Internet
where we.
speed's got to be awesome.
It's got to be amazing.
I bet there is like there's no.
just like in your
there's no-
brain.
there's no
Yeah.
data. There's no data cap. Like you don't have to pay for data.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for data like orbiting Jupiter. You know, they have
Yeah.
a base there. You go live, whatever.
I remember back in my day, we had no internet, and then we had data caps and bandwidth restrictions.
Man. That is really crazy. That's a crazy perspective on it. Is going into the future.
It's a
'Cause the
gamble,
other
though.
thing is-
For better
the other
internet.
thing is how
better internet.
How far would you want to go into the future? Like 20? Because I'm trying to think of the
100
amount
years.
of technology, but 100 years.
Yep,
Like
at least.
that,
Imagine-
that's a super gamble.
Imagine you go 100 years into the future and like you just appear there and there's just a bunch of robots that just like stop doing what they're doing. Like, what are you doing here? We got rid of all you a while ago.
I mean,
Okay, but
what's
that'd be something smart. Is
Who
you'd have
brought
to
the
dress-
person?
Dress like a robot to go to the future.
yeah, you'd have to get your.
That's a good point.
You'd have to get your costume assembled before you
Full
like,
on garbage can robot costume.
boxes with
Yeah.
tinfoil on it.
Or go dressed as a zombie because I don't know. What if the world has actually
I'll be
like,
zombies.
COVID has turned us all into zombies. And
That's an interesting point. Not to go really, left turn on this, but the idea if we do have zombie apocalypse, we're probably gonna have the shutdown of a lot of electricity. And
So we might not have
robots
internet.
like electricity. So unless we build solar powered robots, it's not about AI. It's just keep the robots away from solar power.
Okay,
We'd
but
probably be okay.
I'm telling
Well,
you right
I mean,
now, the second
if they
that
figure
build-
out if robots figure out solar power, we could always just black out the sky with stuff.
they
More
did that in
pollution.
movies. They did that in
Yeah.
movies.
I
What
was gonna say
that?
that's like the plot of the Matrix.
Build
I was
coal
gonna say,
plants
wasn't
as
that the plot
fast
of
as
the
you
Matrix?
can. No, we said we are going to try to stop, but just all coal plants. Everything is going to run on coal.
Man. That's so crazy.
Yeah, going to the future is a gamble, though. You could, you know what? It's pretty likely right now. You'd go to 100 years in the future and you'd appear and just like die from asphyxiation from breathing in
Yeah,
the
it's
air
like
at the rate we're going.
10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, you're just sitting there.
Everyone in the dome is like, the dumbass went outside of the dome.
Yeah, they're all just kind of sitting in their little bubbles, watching you die. Like, why would he choose to go to the future? What an
Yeah,
idiot.
why did you go outside without a
To
suit?
see if the Leafs won
kills
the
you.
cup.
Yeah, right.
He could have gone back and made sure that they didn't trade Gretzky from Edmonton. Like, why would? Why?
That's an interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting twist on that.
I've never
Brendan.
heard
Go to
anyone
the
say
future.
that. Yeah.
No, like being born in the '80s is it's pretty good. But if I was the other thing I was thinking about too, it's like being born in the '70s. To all things equal, the parents and I would be the oldest child, and then that would suck because I think being the oldest child is like the shortest straw as far as kids go.
Wait a minute. Oh, so you're thinking like everything stays the same? You
Everything
just
stays
go
equal. You're
back.
just born earlier, sort of thing. Then I'd be the oldest kid. And
Okay.
it's like then you're oldest because I think that's like the as far as like the order of kids go.
Yeah, I
think
wouldn't
that's,
want to be the oldest
as
kid.
far
They're
as-
like the icebreaker ship that has to go
Yeah.
in front of the other ships.
pretty
and
much.
take on all the beating.
And you see where not that, but you see
Not
where the
beatings
rule,
that
like
way,
where
but
the
like-
line is, and then all the other kids can be like,
I
"Eh."
meant the ship took a beating. Man,
Yeah, Dane's like, I mean, because the first time you parent, there's a lot of beating.
there's a lot of smacking going on. And then the second kid gets just like harsh words and maybe once or twice a smack. Third kid
Third
runs
one's
the
like,
house.
Don't die and make me look bad.
Yeah, just go do what you're going to do. Your brothers have taken care of all of the hair that I had on my head. So I don't really have anything to worry about anymore. I've given up. I'm in the sweatpants era.
All right, so I'd stay where I am. Dane, you want to be hitting your stride in the 60s.
But no, that's what I'm saying.
Brendan wants
I
to peace
don't
out
want to
and
do
just
that.
start fresh.
I'm saying the complete opposite. I don't want to do that. My initial reaction would be go back and see all the stars that I grew up listening to, these rock stars. But I don't want to live without internet. I don't want to live without like good McDonald's. I don't want to live without the McPix meal, McPix menu. Like that's what it comes down to. I don't want no hot and readies.
No, so you go into the future, and it's like, yeah, there's been zombie apocalypse. You run into McDonald's, and you're like, what do you mean the McPix menu's $5? What's going on here? It should be $1. It's value. Oh, inflation. Okay, never mind. It's all good.
Yeah. You're like, I now greatly regret this decision.
But there's one thing to say that if you're going back in time, like you can do things to like. It's like Hot Tub Time Machine when he goes back and he invents Google, but it's Lugal.
If you went back and took like the results of every sports game for like 20 years, and you could go back and bet and make some money. Huh?
But
that's totally an original idea and not from a movie.
Biff
I feel
strategy.
like space-time continuum would not let that almanac keep being right. Because honestly, like
something butterfly effect, yeah.
Well, yeah, like one win that you make money on, that you're betting on, could like ripple effect and affect all the teams, and then they don't.
Yeah, and then
same
like
things don't win.
all of a sudden Wayne Gretzky's never born, and you're
Or
like,
all of
oh.
a sudden there's that part in Hot Tub Time Machine where he says he's going to do something very lewd to his male friend if they don't get a touchdown, and then something happens and it doesn't go the way that they want, and he's staring down that barrel.
So pretty much you just really got to cash in that 1 year.
Yeah.
Like that first year you decided
That
to go
first
on
jump, it's got to make the rest of
Everything.
your life, yeah.
everything on whatever games it is.
But
And then just
honestly,
cash out and you're
if
good.
time travel it was a thing or could be a thing, like I've told myself, I've promised myself that in the future if it becomes a thing, I'd come back and let myself know. I haven't seen myself. I've never gotten one visit from future Dane being like, "Hey, this is what happens in the Super Bowl of 2025." Bet that stuff.
On the topic of time travel, actually, years ago I was reading an article, and they're talking about how if you were to go back in time and see yourself, you wouldn't actually recognize yourself, because there's something about seeing yourself like dead on in a mirror, but there's something about seeing someone who looks like you in real life, and your brain like wouldn't comprehend that is me. Just like some animals, and look at the reflection of themselves, they can't comprehend that is themselves.
Have you ever run
So you'd
into
have to
a
convince
doppelganger?
yourself. Have I a what?
Have you guys ever run into your doppelganger?
Yeah, being me, yeah. And we look at each other and we're just like, it's weird. I get mistaken for my brothers all the time.
Okay. No, I'm talking about someone that you don't know. Like I think we were in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was a kid. Like we were on like a vacation thing with my parents. Went into an elevator, and it was like a big brother and his little brother came into the elevator, and the big brother looked at me, and right away I kind of looked at his brother and I was like, whoa. And like
start doing this.
It was really strange. Like we had different clothes on, obviously, like different styles. I mean, and our hair was pretty different, but like it honestly, like it was really, really strange. It was like looking into a mirror, but I didn't know who this person was.
It can only be one. Should have fought him.
You get. I don't know. I was awestruck enough. I think he would have won.
Okay, next, if that ever happens again, just lean over and just be like, I came back to tell you, and then just tell them something that is apparently in the future. Because now
Okay,
you
that'd
could
be-
pretend you're from the future.
But if we look the same age, that's a tough one. It'd be like
The
"I came to
future could
tell
have
you
really good skin cream.
next week. You need to bet every bit of your parents' money
Everything
on the brand Wolco.
on the Buffalo Bills.
The Raiders. The Raiders are going to win everything. Man, my brother, that's probably what he would have done. And I know that he
The
never
Biff
watches
method.
he never watches these streams, so I don't have to worry about him getting mad at me for this, but like he's thought the Raiders were going to win every Super Bowl since we were like 10. And like no matter how bad they're doing, he's still like the team could just be a horrid sack of dung.
It's kind of like another team. I just can't remember the name of it right now. That everyone loves, and they just keep not winning.
Stings, Brandon. Stings.
It's kind of like
I'm gonna chop this off because Brandon, you're making me feel bad. Also, it's time to leaves. Also, what you could do
No,
is tell them something that like just recently happened, and they'd be like, "Yeah," and you'd be like, believe it or not, but like, put all your money on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be really weird, but like, it's gonna happen. They'd be like, "Yeah, they won last year," and be like, "What year is this?" And it's like you wasted your time travel.
you could really mess with him and just be like
I had one shot at this.
you could just be like
You're supposed to be rich.
I didn't want to do this, but you need to know your parents are not your parents.
That would mess them up.
That'd be the worst. Because they'd never believe their parents after that. It's like, you don't understand. He looked exactly like me.
It's like, Mom, Dad, blood, right now. Gotta take
yeah.
it in.
Yeah,
I'll figure this one
exactly. I want the test, and I want to know the doctor.
Nice, Don. Nice.
The 10th time machine.
Nice.
And it could be either present tense, future tense, or past tense.
Present tense.
I have a present tense time machine.
Oh man, no,
Wait, that doesn't really.
no.
that's
Future
not-
tense is like that'd be such a dad band name for a record.
Future tense.
It's like Mr. Band it's called Tense Machine. This is our new record. Future tense.
Future tense.
And the logo would be like tense machine, and then it just has future in front of it, like different
Yeah,
colors.
with like a giant clock and some like space stuff going on.
I want to
Some
get
hills.
now that like I'm
Space
allowed
hills.
to make dad things. I want to make our next record. It should be tense machine, and it's just a machine that makes tents.
Could be
Yeah.
good.
tense matching. It's like yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one because we can,
Yeah, just gonna.
Yeah, we can keep going. We can keep
I'll
going.
see myself out.
Have a nice day.
It's like they
gentlemen.
started out talking about bands they could fight, and then they spent like the last 10 minutes roasting their own band name. So like we're not really sure if we should fight them now.
I have
Said Green Day.
I have thought about that
themselves.
before. You know what though? I feel like as much as you'd think that we would have it up on Green Day because we're younger and maybe a little more spry. I don't know. Like they've been punk rocking for like 30 years.
Well, and they have all those guys that are playing in like the wings of the stage. All the guys you don't see on stage with them too. So they'd come, out of nowhere and whack you over the head with a big keyboard or something.
It's like they
but
come
I
out of
feel
the
like
clubhouse, and you're like,
that's
oh,
gotta
geez.
be- No, that's got to be a rule. The only people allowed to fight are the ones on stage. Because like Foo Fighters,
Well, they're on
they have
stage.
Don't
their-
fight
just,
Foo
like,
Fighters.
behind.
then.
Foo
Six.
Fighters, they have like their core members, but at the same time now, like everybody's on stage.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
like
not-
6 or 7.
Yeah,
at
that
this
would.
point.
Yeah.
We would definitely lose to them.
Can't fight Slipknot.
No,
Too
Nope.
many.
Well, and honestly, I wouldn't want to fight anyone in masks.
It's that too.
Yeah, definitely not Guar.
But yeah, I wouldn't do. Gore, 'cause
Although,
they
you
got
know
like
what?
protection too because of the costumes.
Well,
They are
that's true.
costumes.
Yeah. That,
They're wait.
I think you might
they're
have just ruined
costumes?
someone's Christmas.
Dude, what? Oh man, this
You
the
know
other
who
day
I
too.
would?
Someone told me wrestling wasn't real. Now Guar
Oh,
aren't actually
I
aliens.
think we could take Tool. They've got more guys, but I
I
think we
don't
could
Well,
know.
it's
take
taken like
Tool.
10 years to get around
I
anything.
was
So you
just
just
gonna
declare
think.
yourself a victory.
I was gonna say that like the hardest part would just be trying to find Maynard. Like
Danny Carey would murder us all in 20
He's
seconds.
gigantic.
He's enormous.
He's a
well,
huge dude.
I was totally gonna leave him to Mike.
Yeah, just gonna
Drummers,
you have it out.
drummers, you take it, and
I just do the old be right back. And I just,
Be right back.
yes, we saw them live. Like, I didn't realize how giant he is. Cause like, even when you're sitting far away and you're like, wow, he's a large individual.
yeah. I
Yeah,
still
Danny-
think we could take him.
We probably have to work our way through the band, just have a strategy.
Yeah, but the thing with Tool is they would come at you and you'd be thinking like normal hits and they'd hit you at like a weird time. They'd have some,
I would
they'd
never
have some
fight
weird stuff and you'd be like, what's going on here?
Primus. I would never fight those guys. I
don't-
feel like
Les Claypool would just straight up stab you.
I was just gonna say like I
Well,
feel
Tim
like
Alexander's he's a stocky guy too. He's got some muscle on him.
And Les is huge.
And no emotions. That's the worst. Don't fight people who don't have emotion.
one. I'm telling you, you can't. Somebody that can play slappy bass like that and sing all percussive.
Coordination.
I was like, his coordination. He's gonna be like smacking you in the face while he's kicking you in the
Sweep
nutties.
kicks and
Yeah.
uppercuts. Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
that figured out.
Oh, yeah.
First try.
And Les is like huge and tall, so he's got the reach too. You wouldn't
Yeah,
even be able
he'll
to
just-
get near him.
He'll just do the leg sweeps like in Mortal Kombat, just over and over and over again.
So what we're saying is that just in
And Primus,
case.
they have the psychological warfare too. He'd be calling you like a puppy when you're attacking him.
They're just weird,
Puppy.
weird words. Yeah, and you'd be confused.
Slap you with my known as
You're
Big
just
Brown
you're
Beaver.
making me think now. Just in case you're ever in a random fight, just always have pocket sand, because that's the thing. Because that'll always tilt the odds in your favor if you just pocket sand someone in the eyes, and then
Now that you've said it, you just watch the next fight that we get in. The band's gonna everybody's gonna have glasses. They're gonna have like like big protective glasses, and Mike's gonna come out with his big move, and pocket sand them,
just
and
pocket sand people.
And they're
Well, it doesn't work if they got glasses on. You got to get in behind the glasses.
You know another one that would be fun. I
Just to
wouldn't
go, like,
want to be
over
the
the top.
band that goes after them, but Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, I wouldn't. No, don't
that would
fight those
be-
guys either.
That would be. I wouldn't want to. I would just watch it happen.
0% chance.
It would go from being a 3-piece fighting them to it'd be a 2-piece, and then quickly it'd be a no piece. And we'd be
Not
running.
enough sand. That's all I can say.
Oh man.
How did we
Yeah,
get here?
I would not want to make Ivan moody.
I'd be more worried. I'd be more worried about Zoltan. We met them. We played in Edmonton at this big festival, like My Darkest days, and I heard him talking to someone, telling that he his exact words were, "I grew up in Bulgaria dodging bullets." I was like, "Oh God, yeah, that's." I mean,
That,
Yeah,
that
never
would be-
assume all upbringings are equal.
yeah, no.
No.
Some people, some other parts of the world did not grow up in like North American situation.
No, the term
Yeah.
"seen some shit" definitely comes to mind. Yeah. Well, and I've definitely. There was a friend of mine that. And I'm trying to. Croatia. She grew up in Croatia, and I remember hearing stories of like she'd seen someone like dive on a grenade before.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that happened in that like Central Europe,
Yeah.
Eastern Europe in like the 80s and 90s when we were
Yeah.
kids growing up. You don't even
Well, and I
read about
didn't
it now.
get it,
You're like,
yeah.
damn.
Because we had a teacher as well that she was, I believe it was Serbia, and I remember like for a whole year she wore all black because it was when so much of that stuff was happening, and I'm sure that like much of her family was going through it, and it's crazy to think that like you can wake up in the morning and your biggest issue is the fact that a truck flipped a rock up and cracked your windshield. And like I wake up and that did happen to me. I was very angry. But like you wake up and that's making your day complete bull crap, but like a stone's throw across the pond, and somebody else is definitely having a very different kind of a bad day. So always put that in perspective a little. You know, when it's a shitty day,
Keep in mind.
Yeah, it can get a lot shittier. On that note, I guess. Wow, I don't want to sign off on that. Does anybody have a joke?
Brendan.
I don't feel like joking right now.
Oh.
I know I usually have something, but I'm like,
Oh man. Well,
Okay,
thank you.
and that's depressing.
yeah, well, that's depressing.
It trapped everybody. That was our plan all along. Like
Well,
a bunch
yeah,
of jokes.
we wanted to tell about a whole bunch of
Talk about something real.
crazy
Vote
nothing,
tomorrow.
and then talking about something real. Yes, tomorrow if you're in Canada.
Yeah,
If
you want to
you're in
hear?
the
Yeah,
States-
that's a joke. The election tomorrow. That's the real joke.
Man, you know what does get me though is the commercials. All the like radio commercials and stuff like that are because they get so somber about
Canadian
things.
Canadian politics. It's just muckraking.
I like
You
that
just-
about the ads though. I like the voice and I like
That's
the
what I
tone
mean,
of it.
though.
You're like, so and so doesn't like puppies.
Yeah.
Doesn't want you
gonna
to work
do
5
this.
days a week, and then you
How many
to-
meals did you eat last week? So and so thinks you should eat half that. So and so thinks that you shouldn't have pets. So and so thinks
Do you
that your
like chocolate?
children- Yeah. So and so thinks
Are you ready for
should
the
hate
upcoming
it.
chocolate ban that so and so wants to put
Ban
into
on
place? That's
chocolate.
right.
If I ever have way too much money, I'm definitely gonna be running political ads for my own political party. That's just gonna have silly stuff like that, just for the airspace, just for the ad space.
It
So
would
it'd be-
be there has been ones like that. I remember before weed was legal in Canada, there was the marijuana party or something like that. I can't remember what they were actually called.
I think
But
no,
I-
there was the marijuana party.
It was just the marijuana party. It was so funny.
That's
'cause
actually the name of it. Yes.
I remember looking up their platform or whatever, like what they did have political.
Was it on a
things.
Post-it note?
But-
Just like a picture of it.
No, it's how I do my my set list. It was just on a whiteboard, and there was erase marks, and you could see the white marks under it. What they wanted to say, but no, I remember one year actually thinking like I'm gonna vote for them. That's a great idea. I'm like 17 years old, thinking when I turn 18, that's how I'm gonna change the world. I'm gonna vote for the marijuana party.
You see the results after, like they get 5 votes, and you're like, well, my vote actually did count because
Yeah,
it would have been 4.
Well, I will say if COVID is the conspiracy that everyone's talking about, then Canada was kind of smart because they made the whole country pot legal about 2 years and a half before it started hitting. So it was like everyone was severely medicated around here. It's like, what are we going to do with today? We can't go anywhere. Well, we can order that cheap.
I like this. Let me say, here in South Africa, they banned the sale of beach balls in lockdown level 4. Like WTF? There you go. Keep beach balls legal, party.
Beach
Just make sure
balls.
it's never gonna happen. You know,
The
just
beach ball party.
not on our watch. Only banning those beach balls.
Oh man.
All right, now we need some beaches. Damn it.
Well, that
More
being said,
beaches
it's-
party.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like what we were talking about earlier. You know, when all the lockdowns happen, it's like going to Costco is actually not the craziest thing in the world because there's no browsers, and it's the same. It's the same at
Kirkland
Walmart.
jeans.
It just. You know what though? That would be one thing if like someone got arrested because they broke the lockdown lines to steal some Kirkland jeans.
Get some Kirkland jeans. We'd get those.
It's like, man, you expect me to go and hang out for a year in seclusion without rocking my Kirklands?
It's been a year and a half, and I haven't bought a single pair.
pair of Kirkland jeans.
Kirkland jeans. What are you? What is? It's like that video of the guy that was downtown at the Eaton Center going, "Why
Oh
are
my
you
God.
closed?
Why are you closed?
Why are you closed?"
Why are you closed? Oh my gosh. That was on Tosh.0 not long ago. I saw
Was it?
that rerun. Yeah, because the second I saw the Doors, I knew that it was the Eaton Center.
It's Toronto.
Oh man, that was
What
awesome.
right do you have? I want to go shopping.
Well, and that wasn't even, that was like years ago.
Yeah.
That was, I think they were just closed, or like they weren't open yet in the morning, and he's screaming.
Why are you
Sir, it's
closed?
9:30. The open at 10.
Well, the best is the guy who makes all of those videos into metal songs. He did
do
one
it?
to that. That's yeah, he did. That's where I originally found that clip of that guy yelling from. I was like, oh, and it was like the dude. Why are you closed? Why are you closed? Why are you closed? Why?
Oh my gosh. That's so hilarious. Well, that is a way better note to leave things on. So everybody, thank you. Thank you for being here for Sundays at 6. And I appreciate, you guys jumping around with us on different times, because it would be very, very disheartening if we had to do it to just the three of us, and then it would just be the three of us talking. Actually, that gets interesting too. But that being said, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe and comment. If you're watching on Facebook, remember to share. And if you're watching on Twitter, remember to type at us. Do at things. Say things. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Mike and B, as always, it's a pleasure to Chitty McChat with y'all. And hope everybody has a good night. Later, Solomon J. I always have to get the brand thing before. Dang it.
Nailed it. They need to make it like a foot pedal switch thing.
I wish it was just like a Siri command.
What about
that
this?
That could be a thing too.
That actually could be a thing.
Oh, that's
Brandon coming in with hot tips from the future.
Yeah, that's right. So I came back from the future.
I was just going to say, did you know this? Because you went to the future, came back, and it